everything is fine. Today we are going to study and discuss about a very important subject, which is very famous and very controversial also. You might have heard about the third temple, but this is not something against any country or any personal person or any religion. Every country has a right to do whatever they want, but whenever it is some question of Bible, I would like to ask some 2-3 questions. And after watching my video, I hope you will send some suggestions or questions or whatever queries that you have. But I want you to look through the scriptures and see. And I have never heard a subject on this matter. Of course, there is a subject called Third Temple, but the way I will present it might be something different. And I hope you will look into it. And again, I'm saying this is not against anybody, but I'm just trying to understand the scriptures. Okay, the third temple. Everybody is talking about the third temple. Everybody is sure of the third temple that will be coming into, that will be built in Jerusalem. And but my question is, will it be built? That's the important point. That's what I want to study with you today, and that's what I want to show you. And my answer, or what I understand, will by the end of the video will come to know. So the study is today, the third temple in Jerusalem, will it be built? It's just, if you look at it nowadays, it's a very big news. You know, it's everywhere and everybody is working through it. The Jerusalem and the third temple. You will remember a few days before, Donald Trump had made Jerusalem the capital city of Israel. And there was a lot of controversy, but this was a very old story, but he has now put it into place. So everybody is thinking that yes, the third temple will come. But the reason is for what it will come. And that's what I'm going to show. But very important point is, will it be rebuilt? Update on the building of the third temple. You can see so many videos are going on around. And some videos will show that everything is ready. We're just waiting for the green signal, and everything, the vessels and the priest and everything of the temple is ready. They're only waiting for the green signal. Okay, the third temple is being built in Jerusalem 2020. This is the headlines. The rabbis, Donald Trump, and top secret plan to build a third temple, unveiling the incendiary scheme by religious authorities. So everybody is getting together to rebuild the third temple. Sometimes it's also known as Ezekiel's temple. Now, this is a picture that if you see in this box, they're going to replace it from this mosque. I mean, this is the place they're saying that is the temple place. So unless we don't remove this mosque, then this temple will not come. I don't know how they're going to do it, but yes, and this is the whole plan of theirs. But still, I have some questions about it. Now, this is presently how it is and how it's looking. It's a wailing wall. The wall is there and the temple is there, and people are, just praying to the wall. I don't know. Sometimes I think, how are you going there and praying it to the wall? Even Daniel, when he was in Babylon, he prayed. He opened his window and he looked toward the east and he prayed. It's not necessary that you should go there, but when the temple is not there, I do not know how do you stand there and pray. Okay, yeah, but it's their belief, and that's what they're doing. But my questions are different. The third temple, and the logic that I can't find is they're building the third temple for an antichrist to sit here. I just can't understand. If antichrist is going to sit there, I think he should build it. Why people should take the trouble out of it? And you're building such a huge thing for an antichrist to sit? I just can't understand. But I will show you some things that will they build. That is the important part that I want to share. Is this temple going to be built? Is this old Jerusalem temple going to rebuild? That is my point. Now, who will sit, why he will sit, and why they are preparing to sit, I have no idea. But yes, this is what I'm going to ask. See, this is also known as Ezekiel's temple from chapter 40, 13 to 15. They also call it Ezekiel's vision temple that they're going to build, and it will be built. Otherwise, Christ will not come. That's how they tell people. Now, I want to start with the verse which says Isaiah 46, 9 and 10. For I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times things that are not yet done. So definitely God has some plans about this temple, first, second, third, whatever. He has a plan. There is nothing that he doesn't know. But he has given us some ideas or some things to look through the scriptures and see if God is involved in building the third temple. Now, if you remember, I will take you back to some scriptures where I will build up some things that why I don't believe the temple will come to existence. And so I will take you something backward and build up on the reason that I am saying. Now, we know Noah built an ark and it was there, and God said he would preach for 120 years. So, God had given the people 120 years, and within the 120 years, he had to preach, build the ark, and everybody was ready. Not a day before or not a day after. And the Genesis chapter 6:3 says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh, yet his day shall be 120 years. So definitely within 120 years, everything was finished and Noah went inside and the flood and everything came down. But the time limit was given. That's where I'm hitting on. The time was given. They could not do it before nor afterwards. Then we also know that the Israelites, the Jewish people, when they were in Egypt, and the Bible says they were there for so many years, 400 years. So before 400 years, they could not come out of it. That's for sure. Definitely, people might have tried a lot of things, but 400, no, definitely they would stay till 400 years. Like Genesis 15:13 says, and he said unto Abraham, know a surety that a seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 400 years. So they could not do anything till the 400 years were over. And only it's God who said after 400 years he'll come and save them. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self same day, it came to pass that all the host of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. Again, my point is I'm stressing on the years and the time limit that God had given, that they could be their slaves for particular years. And then again in Acts, we find it is where Stephen says, and God spake on this wise, that his seed shall sojourn in the strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them even for 400 years. So definitely, 400 years, you could not move anywhere because God had already said it. And we know after 400 years, they left and went out of Egypt. Then again, they were slaves in Babylon. Okay? And even in the slaves of Babylon, Jeremiah 25:11 said, and this whole land shall be a desolation and astonishment, and this nation shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. It was prophesied, it was given the exact time, exact years, how many years they would be in Babylon. No matter how much you would have tried before, it would never happen. So that is what I'm stressing. When God said something, it will be there for certain time, it will be there for certain time. For thus says the Lord, after 70 years we accomplish at Babylon, I will visit you. The same thing that he said in Egypt, after 400 years, I will come and visit you and take out of you from Egypt. And Daniel 2:9-2 says, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by the books the numbers of the years, whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem. So 70 years Jerusalem was desolated, no temple was there, and it would be there, it could not be less nor more, because God is the one who said, after 70 years the temple shall be rebuilt. And we also know through the Daniel's prophecy, chapter 2, that the whole world's countries that they were given, Babylonian, Medo-Persian, Grecian Empire, Roman Empire, and the empire that was divided. And there would never come a fifth empire on the earth that could rule the world. And that is for sure, because Bible says in Daniel 2:45, The vision is sure, and all the interpretations are sure. And I was thinking, but in this whole, this is from Daniel to second coming of Christ. Israel is not part of it for some reason. You see? So we need to think about this matter. Then after 70 years coming out of exile, returning to the promised land. Exactly after 70 years. That is what I'm pressing on. And they started rebuilding it, and it went. Now, if you see, God had already given these prophecies of Christ, place of his birth, manner of his birth, his betrayal, manner of his death, precisely. When God says something, believe me, you cannot do anything and nothing can do about it. Zechariah says 11, so they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver, and I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them into the potter in the house of the Lord. And Matthew 27, 5 and 7 says, and he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed. And they bought, and they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. And we know Judas took 30 pieces of silver. Exactly what Lord had prophesied. The prophecy is precise, the amount, the result, the place. Now this is what they say is Herod's temple. It was there, very famous. Okay. And in the same place, Jesus had come and said, yeah, this is, make not my father's house and house of merchandise. We know all these things. And then what happens? Then he looks at Jerusalem. In Matthew 24, you will find it, and it starts from 23. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and he would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. Now Christ is looking at the temple, as you know in Matthew 24 and 23 and 24, it says, you see the so beautiful building and so all those kind of things. And then, of course, Christ says, one stone shall not be left another. But the point I'm making is Matthew 23, verse 38. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. Now, whenever there was something done, like the Jerusalem temple during the Babylonian exile, it was there desolate for 70 years, means ruined. And now again Christ says something. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. Matthew 24 verse 2 says, truly I say to you, not one stone here will be left upon another, which will not be thrown down. And again, if you see, as Jesus left the temple and was walking away, his disciples came unto him to point out his building, out to its building. Do you see all these things? He replied, truly I say unto you, not one stone here will be left on another, everyone will be toppled. The question is, if Messiah said not one stone, could it be left standing in the temple? What is this wailing wall? And it's surprising sometimes when I was going through the scriptures. If Jesus said one stone shall not be, such a huge wall is standing, something to think about. Mark says, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. Isaiah says, the grass withereth, the flower fades, but the word of our God stands forever. Once if God says something, it will stand forever. Luke 21 verse 24 says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Luke 19:44 also, and they will not leave one in you one stone upon the another. And we know through the history that they, after 70, they burned down the temple and everything was taken away because the gold went in and they started removing all the stones. And Jerusalem destroyed in AD 70. And from AD 70 to almost 2000 years, I don't know, they might have tried so many times, but somehow they have not accomplished it. Why? Because somebody said something. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. How long? How long? That is the important point. until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. Now, what are the times of the Gentiles? And who are Gentiles? I just went through and it said Gentile is a person who is not a Jew, especially with the definite article, so and so the nations meant nations of the world that they were not Hebrews. So the simple understanding I understand through the scripture, Gentile is a person who doesn't believe in a true God. There are people who believe in God and who people who don't believe in a true God. And Gentiles are those people, anyone who doesn't believe in a true God. So this is the main. And I believe Gentiles will be on earth till Christ comes the second time. I mean, you cannot, I don't know how do you get this thing. And I've seen so many videos, but nobody's pointing out to where Jesus said that the desolation of the Jerusalem temple will be there, or Jerusalem will be destroyed, or be trodden down until the times of the Gentiles are over. And for, what is the reason of you building? Are you going to make sacrifice once again? You think, I mean, just think what you, when you read or when you think, I mean, are you building the temple again for Christ or to sacrifice lambs, animals? And it says, the temple shall be trodden down there until the second coming of Christ. Now, behold, the former things have come to pass. A new thing declare, before they spring forth, I tell you of them. This is how the temple was looking when the Jesus time, they said. And if you look at the videos, some of the videos, the archaeologists come and say, the Temple Mount is not the place where the original temple was, but the temple was in the city of David. And I watched these things and 2-3 videos of different people, whatever the opinion. But I've come to conclusion one thing. If the Temple Mount is the place of temple which originally was stood, then there should have been a, a river spring, as they say, Ezekiel's spring or Gion spring, because the spring and everything is here towards the old city of David. You see, Gion springs are there. So this is the city of David, as they say, and the temple was here. And so I don't know how they are saying it's a Temple Mount, or where is Moss, Alaska is, built. So anyway, but I don't believe that the temple will be built no matter who comes and who thinks about it. Now let me take you to some of the things. And one thing is sure, I don't think that God will allow somebody else to build something on his place. Of course, though the world is there, but Jerusalem, Mount Zion has been God's favorite. And I don't think anybody. And if you look at 1 Samuel 6:19, just think. And he smote the man of the Bethshemesh because they had looked into the ark of the Lord. What they did? They just looked. And if you complete that verse, even he smote the people 50,000 and 70 men just for looking into the ark. Then you go to Daniel chapter 2, Belshazzar, we know. Whilst he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessel which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple, which was in Jerusalem. And we know the story. And there was handwriting on it, just for bringing and touching the vessels from the temple. And you think God will allow somebody to build on this place? I don't think so. But the important point is Jesus said, heaven and earth will pass away, but my word shall not pass away. If he said your house is going to be desolated and it is going to be trodden down until the times of the Gentiles are over, it will remain there, trodden down until the times of the Gentiles. And that is still the second coming of Christ. I had this verse always when I used to look at some other religions where they used to say the Bible is, man written this and all those kind. But this was hitting me for some 15 years past. I remember this verse, the temple shall, because there were a lot of, before I used to watch the channels where people used to collect money to rebuild Jerusalem and the temple. Then when I went through the scriptures and said, but temple is not going to be rebuilt. as God said it. Are we defying him? Micah 4:7 says, and I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation. And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth, even forever. So I'm saying, you just think the God who could not, you know, let people touch the things that were belonging to him. You think he'll allow somebody to build a temple and an antichrist to come and sit there? I mean, what are we thinking? And if we have to say, okay, let Christ is coming, let's build, but you're building it for an antichrist to sit. There is no verse in the Bible, even in book of Ezekiel, it doesn't give a time that Ezekiel's temple will be built on this earth. Every time that God has given something to build or rebuild, he has given a time frame. You just look into it. And if you have any suggestions, any queries, I would be free to answer you. And I hope that you'll go through the scriptures, think about it, that you're rebuilding some, and I hope it will help you out and think and to reason it out. Thank you very much.